So welcome back to the second video relating to Bram's DJ activities. Now in this video, when I was in Adelaide, I rode 35 k's down to Seaford to see him, and we did an interview. And in that interview he explained how he developed this whole DJ thing and where it began. So let's go and hear what he had to say. Good morning, Bram.
Morning, Clippy. Don't think I've ever said that to you before, like that.
So I'm here with Bram. I've ridden down from Adelaide to see him in his natural environment. But basically what this is all about is to ask him, first, it's about the DJ event, what was the name of the event?
Your Shot 2023.
Your Shot, yeah, that he participated in the other night. So what I would like to do is go back and find out, how did this all start? So when did you first get interested in DJing?
So it goes back to around 2016, 2017. No, it actually goes further back than that. Again, it goes more back to 2010, maybe. I remember being really, really young. And there was DJ Hero on the PS2, the PlayStation 2, which is absolutely nothing like DJing, but that was sort of the little seed there. And
I remember, actually, you've just reminded me of something. I remember years ago on one of my original iPads, I had a DJ app, and you went ape over it. That's right.
Yeah, and that app's still around. Yeah, it's incredibly so much better, as you'd expect, than it was 10 years ago. But there was that. There was also I remember one Christmas, it was a little bit sad because, like, Mum and Dad saw it, they got me this little mixer that, like, plugged in with your iPod, but it didn't actually do any mixing, it just made noises over the music you were playing, and I remember having to borrow an auxiliary lead from Sarah to make it work and stuff. But anyway, when it really, really kicked off was around 2016, 2017. Right. I'd been, I'd had a job by that point, and I went out and bought an actual proper, pretty professional DJ controller off a bloke who was, and this is how I found out about Your Shot, he was selling that controller so that he could buy the same one that Your Shot was using so he could practice for the competition.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's how I found out about Your Shot in Melbourne. But at the time I wasn't 18, so I couldn't enter the competition.
Yeah, okay.
Hell, I couldn't even get a job at a club even if someone gave me one.
So that means you've been practicing for some years now?
Well, no. I sold that controller in 2018 or 2019.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know, there was year 12 going on. The thing was bloody massive. Like, it never fit on my desk. It was always such a process to set it up.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how I sort of, the first step into it, and that's how I found out about Your Shot. And then we're actually, we're going for a camp on my birthday actually at Point Sturt this year.
Yep.
We're just sitting in the awning off the van on a very, very windy, cold night, and I got, what did I see? Did I get an email or I saw it on Facebook or something that there was Your Shot Adelaide, and I'm like, stuff it, I'll sign up for that. Didn't expect to hear anything back, and then I was sitting right here, and I got a phone call from Rashna, who one of the organisers, and she's like, yeah, we'd like to offer you pre-selection. So I don't even have to go in to do the interviews. I was already in before the event was started. I mean, there are a lot of other people who got that as well. But I got pre-selected, which felt daunting, but also fantastic.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, well, once that happened, I wasn't going to say no, right?
And how long was that before the event?
So we finished training 2 weeks before the event. We had 6 weeks of training.
Right.
And I think that was a month or two, about a month before that.
Right.
I signed up in April, June, July, and training started in July. So yeah, it would have only been a month or so before, a month or two before.
So now it leads us up to the other night. So my question to you, how much time did you put into this hardcore before the event?
So just the training alone that was organised by the event, there were 6 training sessions once a week, and they were 3-hour sessions.
Yep.
So there's 18 hours there, plus another 6 hours that I paid for training there. So there's 24 hours in official training, and then quite a few hours here. I wouldn't know how to count them, and I mean it's not necessarily just practicing that exact set too.
No,
There's
I get it, yeah.
playing around with. I spent a long time trying to figure out what songs I'm even going to play. You know, my set was originally twice that long,
Right,
and I
okay.
had to cull so much to trim that thing down.
Right, okay.
I had like 30 songs ready to play that would never have fit. Well, not with my current skill level anyway. And now it came down to, I think, 12 songs for the final
and it was
show.
a 25-minute.
25.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so we now lead up to the night itself. Well, how were you feeling before the event? Like the actual, like what I meant, just before you went on. What was it like? Nerves?
It was just before I went on, things actually started to calm down.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
It was, I guess I knew I was ready. And I know that sounds really cocky, but
No.
I practiced Saturday night after, just raving all day with the other guys. I was absolutely obliterated Saturday night before my set. But I'm like, if I can do this set now, while I'm just drunk off my face, I'll be right to do it tomorrow. And I was able to do it the night before, so that kind of helped.
Right.
But yeah, it was the strangest feeling. Once I had a bit of a chat with the MC. He was really, really good in making you feel comfortable getting up there as well. But really, once I plugged that USB in, it was almost just like a bubble around the decks. I was in a bubble and the crowd was in a bubble, and nothing else was going on around me.
I got to say, being there myself, the way you just seemed to, I think that's a good description. You just seemed to sort of, all of a sudden, oh, okay, this is it, and I'm just doing it, and you were off and running. It was great.
Yeah, it was just and time stopped existing almost.
And could you sense the crowd forming as it went on?
I honestly wasn't really sure. That's how just the sort of state I was in. It was such a surreal state to be.
So you were really into the music itself and doing it.
Oh yeah, I was looking out there, but I had to ask. I had to ask Ty or someone to be sure that the crowd actually did fill up towards the end, because I couldn't remember, because the concept of time even had just left my mind.
Kept coming in. You had quite a reasonable amount of people there, and they were really into it.
Because it definitely started off somewhat empty, and so I didn't sell that many tickets. But
and to finish it off, at the end when you threw your arms up in the air, and it was, what did it feel like?
They really make you feel like a rock star. But I don't know. It's really, I don't know. It just felt epic.
Right.
Yeah. I really struggle to describe it properly. It just felt epic, especially with that more orchestral section of one of those tracks I had, doing this and this.
I must admit, that was
and the effects guys getting those floodlights going at the same time. When that was happening, it felt like it was materializing the music.
The other thing, I was a bit surprised. It did surprise me a bit that there was some very recognisable old tunes there from my time. I was quite surprised.
Yeah, Riders on the Storm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I absolutely love that remix.
One of my favourite songs.
Yeah. And you said, it's funny when you said, don't adulterate an old song like that, and then I started scratching over the only song you knew.
Oh, that was hilarious. But I understand. Look, it was quite impressive. It really was. I think the whole thing to me was just a massive visual audio display, and also you were like a conductor up there, and I love the fact that your timing with your arm movements and everything were brilliant. So
yeah. Well, I mean, that was kind of always, my plan with my set was to make it a bit of a journey.
Yep.
And I mean, that's, it's what a lot of people do,
Yeah.
But, I wanted a path to the set, and Riders on the Storm just fits so well in there. It was so intense for so long, and then let's just settle down into something a little bit slower paced for a bit.
That was good. Well, look, I'm going to wrap this up at the moment because I'm worried about running out of time, space on here. But
yes.
Anything else you want to say before we?
It was there were many points during it where I said to myself, why the hell did I do it this year? Because it's the final year of uni. It's been very, very hectic. Like when the training started, of course, uni started to get even more hectic. And there were many, many times where I was like, why did I do this this year? But all that stress is just inconsequential compared to what it ended up being in the end. They said it was, they said it was going to be the time of your life. They said it's going to be the best 25 minutes of your life, and yet it's still just obliterated expectations.
Oh, wow.
It was, it's incomparable to anything else I've done in my life, I reckon.
Fantastic. Bram, thank you very much. I really appreciate this.
No worries, Clifton. Thanks for being there.
I think we'll wrap it up. Oh, I had a ball. Yeah, had a ball.
Glad.
Thank you.